Hi YouTubers, it's that movie guy here to bring you yet another review for my Horrorthon reviews, where I review as much horror films as I can throughout the month of October. And today's horror film is foreign, and it's not exactly a horror film. Well, it's a monster movie, and it was the highest grossing movie in Korea, and that movie is Jun Hong Bo's, I think that's right, The Host. And yes, I think it's safe to say it's probably one of my favorite monster movies of all time, and probably one of my favorites of the decade, of favorite foreign movies of the decade, just to say. And okay, so let me give you the synopsis for The Host. So The Host, in the very beginning of the movie, this part of the movie is actually based off a real event that actually happened, where these people in a mortuary, and they pour all these toxic waste in the sink, and it just goes out into the Han River. And this movie's in Korea, and I guess it just, all those toxic chemicals kind of forms into the Han River, and it mutates this kind of tadpole fish thing into this disgusting monster. And yeah, so then the film totally switches to this family in this shack where they serve food, where this grandpa and this dad and his daughter, where they just kind of live this boring life, and the monster eventually just pops out and starts eating people, and it eventually takes the dad's son, and now he sets out on a journey with the grandpa, his brother, and his sister to find her, because the monster in this movie has taken her into this sewer and just kind of keeps her captive there so she can't move, and where he just dumps all his other victims that he's taken and just puts them in there. And the whole family's on the journey out to look for her, and the rest of the city is trying to fight out the giant monster. So yes, that was basically the whole plot for this movie. And yes, this movie, one of the reasons I picked this movie is because of the monster in this movie. The monster in this movie is just absolutely really unique. It's totally disgusting. It's really hard to describe. It's really cool, and this movie doesn't really exactly focus on the monster just destroying and eating people as much. Focuses more on the sadness and the turmoil with the family trying to find the daughter, which I find is actually a very interesting way to tell a monster movie. And yes, if you haven't heard of The Host, I highly recommend you watch it. Some people may not like it, I was watching this review with Richard Roper, and he said this movie's anti-American because, in the very beginning of the movie, it shows this American telling this Korean to, pour all this toxic chemicals into the drain, and it's kind of he thinks that, apparently Richard Roper thinks it's, kind of showing that Americans are bad and they're forcing Koreans to do bad things, which, that's definitely, I really do not see that, and, don't get turned off by that. It's a great movie to watch. It's very believable. There's a lot of funny scenes in this movie. There's a lot of drama, and some people may think the monster's a bit fake. It's kind of special effects and stuff, but I think it's a really great way of showing a monster, and the special effects were perfect for this movie. So yeah, if you haven't heard of it, it's not one of the best movies I've ever seen, but it is one of my favorites of the decade, and probably one of my favorite monster movies of all time. So yes, The Host. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Alright, so stay tuned for more horror reviews, and I'll see you guys later.